Hey guys, it's Shaw from worshipguitarskills.com, back with the continuation of our previous lesson where I showed you 3 different approaches when it comes to composing parts and improvising. We showed you chords, minor pentatonic scale, and a rhythmic approach. So we were able to go into detail in the chords in the previous lesson, and in this lesson we're going to check out the minor pentatonic scale. Now before we get to that, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell, you'll get notifications when we release new videos like this, and give us some love in the comments section. We love hearing from you guys, what you thought of the lessons, what you want to learn more about. Let's open that dialogue so it's not a one-way conversation. All right, comment, like, subscribe. Awesome. Let's go on and check out what you can do with the pentatonic scale. All right, so that's kind of a hat tip to build my life over the progression of Josh Baldwin's You Deserve It All. And everything is pretty much based around the D major pentatonic scale. Except when I go over the A chord, I add it in a C sharp. And then when I play the E minor or the G major chord, I can add in the G note. And incidentally, those 2 notes are the 2 notes that are not part of the minor pentatonic scale. So a major scale, it's got 7 notes. But if I leave out both the C sharp and the G, then it sounds like this. Alright, so that's my goal, you know that. But if I add in the G and the C sharp, versus no C sharp and G, that's a D major pentatonic versus a D major scale. So I like using the pentatonic scale and then just bring in the other notes when I need them as chord tones. Because you see, for this Build My Life thing in D major pentatonic, over the D chord, then, okay, so obviously I'm changing it, right? I'm just messing around, but then I bring in the C sharp over the A chord. And then again, and then for the G, I didn't have to use that G note, but I slide into the B, which is a chord tone. Right, so it's literally just a pentatonic scale, and then you can experiment, you can mess around, you can just play different ideas. So let me do something else over that same progression, not using that melodic seed that I started with, and doing something totally different. Check this out. Alright guys, so I start off like this, because that's going to take me to my D chord, and then it's going to take me to my A chord, and then, which is my E minor chord, which is my G chord there. So alright, that is simply triads. So when you learn the pentatonic scale and triads, then you can do the pentatonic scale when you just jam. You just come up with whatever. You don't have to really think about what you're doing. Let your ear guide you there. But when you want to find a note to kind of rest upon, that is when you want to use one of the triad tones. So quite simply, we have D, we have A, or A, we have E minor, or, and we have G. They're all over the neck. D, A, E minor, and G. So if you can learn the triads and then jam with the pentatonic scale, and when you need to ring on long notes, make sure you land on one of the triad tones. Let's give this another go over this backing, and then I'll do it in a different key, different progression, and show you how the same idea translates. Let's check this out. Alright, none of that was planned beforehand. It was just because I've got my pentatonic scale, which is an open sounding scale because it doesn't have the C sharp and the G, right? Which is the 7th and the 4th. It doesn't have those two tones. It sounds more open. And then I know my triads, which is my core tones, where I can land on for some safety and kind of give the melody a chance to kind of breathe, right? So you might want to watch that a couple of times and jam over the track. Again, we teach this in great detail at the Worship Guitar Skills Academy. If you want to get all this dialed in, you can email us at any time at support@worshipguitarskills.com to find out how that works. All right, now let me take that same approach, different key, different progression, nothing pre-planned. Let's see what we can come up with using pentatonic scale and triads. All right, so you know what's kind of freeing is the fact that if you know what you can do and you can just play without worrying that you're going to hit the wrong note, that gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you confidence. It gives you the ability just to step out and go for it. So all of that stuff just came out of nowhere, but I used the E pentatonic scale. And then I just started playing. That is a long note that rings on my E chord. And then, which is part of the C sharp minor. All right, I'll have to listen back to what I did, but in essence, that is how useful this is by using a pentatonic scale and triad. So the pentatonic scale is when you just want to play without really thinking about anything, and you want to let your ear guide you and your musicality to kind of come out. And then when you need a resting note and you need to know, okay, cool, let me play a note that's going to fit with my chord, look over what chord you are in that moment in time, and then go ahead and play one of the triad tones. All right, guys, let's end this video for now. That is using the minor pentatonic scale, or in this case, the major pentatonic scale. E major pentatonic scale is the same as C sharp minor pentatonic scale. Lesson for another day. Along with triads, which are my core tones. I combine those two together. I get some fun stuff like I've demonstrated for you in this video. In our next lesson, I'm going to show you some rhythmic stuff using the pentatonic scale and triads. but just to kind of show you what you can do to amp up the ante there as it relates to using rhythmic, pushing the rhythmic barrier, so to speak. All right, I'll see you in that video. Remember, comment, like, subscribe, and if you want to learn about the Worship Guitar Skills Academy, you can just email us at support@worshipguitarskillsacademy.com, and we'll let you know about the different programs we have available if you want to spend more time studying all these awesome concepts and techniques that we are showing you right here on the channel. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.